All right, thanks for tuning in to my channel. I'm Dave, and this is Save America, Vote for Tulsi Gabbard. I am doing videos, and I appreciate you guys subscribing. Over 400 subscribers, looking to get to 1,000. I thought that was going to be impossible, but it appears that people like the content here. They like maybe my center-right perspective. Maybe they like me groveling to the altar of common sense, because I am. I've, I haven't changed my political belief system entirely, but I have realized that the areas of intersection between the corporatist culture that we're in, between the pro-war culture, between the bankruptcy. I mean, like I said, where did all those Tea Party people go? They just left. They left the building. Trump gets elected and they're gone. And yet the debt is, what, $22 trillion? I mean, be consistent, and call it out for what it is. I mean, you're not balancing budgets, and we're doing it on the backs of people that need stuff. And then we go to countries and we blow the country up, and then we have to send a team in to go repair it. It's the most ludicrous thing in the world. But anyway, I want to talk about labels, because I think labels are dangerous. I think if you start labeling people too much, yeah, you have progressive tendencies, I get it. Yeah, you have conservative tendencies, I get it. I want to know, idea by idea, issue by issue, what you're all about. And then if I, in my mind think, well, they're progressive on some issues, but they're also a little bit more conservative over here, or a little bit libertarian over there. See, I think progressives naturally fear conservatives, and conservatives really fear progressives. Okay, I think the fear on the right, because I've been on the right, is greater than the fear that's on the left, from what I understand. But what we should focus on are those areas where we intersect, where we understand that corporate greed is bad, that we understand that Wall Street right now wields too much power over ordinary people, that we've all kind of become indentured servants to the state, which is actually run by corporations. And corporations kind of run the deep state. And they're all sort of intermingled. So when you come at me with a label or a litmus test, I've watched a few videos where people are like trying to decide, for Democrats, what candidate is truly the most progressive or the best progressive, or how high is their rating in this area. And I cringe, because I'm like, how are they going to govern the country? Are they going to be able to govern everybody? Okay? And that means the left and the right, because Trump can't even get the time of day for people who are on the left. He's lost people. And I don't know, we need a president right now that can kind of quell this polarization, which I think is doing all kinds of damage. I mean, the suicide rate, the opioid crisis, all of these things I think you can tie into the current political scene. And I think Tulsi Gabbard is smart to say, hey, labels are not a good thing. Or at least don't try to label me. Okay, I'm independent. I go from issue to issue, and then I make decisions based on the circumstances. People worried about, did they vote this way all the time, or how did their heart change on this one particular issue? And I'm thinking to myself, and it changed radically, and you're thinking to yourself, that's still not enough, because at one time they harbored different feelings or had different opinions. That's a weird place to be, because people change. People aren't always consistent. They have life experiences that change them. The first person that goes bankrupt from a medical problem will instantly think to themselves, well, this system is screwed up. I've worked hard my whole life, and now I have nothing. So I have had to come to grips with that, rather than saying, well, get a job, and get some health care. But it's not always that simple for people. So labeling people, I think, is something that everybody needs to get away from. And I think we would find more common ground rather than just saying, I'm super ultra progressive Bob. And this is what I think about all day long. And see, I look at myself as super independent Dave. You know, I don't, if I'm thinking that I'm becoming more progressive on certain issues, I'll talk about it. But, you know, I tend to not be down the, when I'm more center right, I wasn't down the line center right. I used to say, well, why are we fighting all these wars? And everybody would come up to me and say, well, Dave, you don't understand America's role in the world today. And then they explained to me the perfect neocon logic as to why we should go and be an influence, a positive influence for good. As, what was it, Stephen Colbert said to Tulsi Gabbard, we're a positive influence for good around the world. Well, it hasn't worked out that way for the last 50 years or so. So maybe we were at one time, but that's when there was truly some gargantuan threats where people understood that it was kind of now or never. Telling, you know, Venezuela what to do or what dictator they should have in power, that's none of our business, and we shouldn't be fostering regime change there. So that's my core issue, as you know from this channel, but I think labels limit conversations, and Tulsi Gabbard understands that, and that's why she stood up to Dana Bash, even though Dana Bash was making her own assumptions. Well, you're not a capitalist, or you're a socialist. Oh, that means you're a capitalist, or, you know, and it's like, don't assume, Dana. You know, she answered the question. She doesn't like labels. Done. The rest of it is just like you're inserting your own translation into the interview. And I hate that. And that's what the media is well known for doing on every side of the political spectrum. Almost on every channel, it's all about, I'm going to insert my opinion into your conversation to make you say what I think you should be saying. So that's what gets on my nerves, and I think Tulsi understands that. Plus, Tulsi wants to recruit or at least appeal to people like me. She did it. Okay, she did it. I'm not a registered Democrat. I'm not a progressive in the true sense of the word, but she did it. So I think that strategy would be very effective for every candidate running for office on either side of the political spectrum. All right, done with this video. I will be back with more. And again, thanks for subscribing. Share the videos and watch the videos and keep subscribing if you haven't already done so. Talk to you soon.